Hi friends, this is Anna and
Cassie.
with Scrapping, Stamping, and Stuff. We're here today to do a sneak peek of a really pretty stamp set in our new holiday catalog coming out here at the beginning of August. And we are going to make some really simple Christmas cards that you can make quickly and easily. If you're a beginning stamper, these would be great ones to get started with. And if not, they're great ones just for any Christmas cards, because if you're sending out a lot of cards, it takes a lot of time to make those. So these are going to be real simple ones that you can make quickly. We are going to step these up just a touch from the samples right here, but we are going to try to do 10 of these in 10 minutes. So we are going to get started. So first we are going to cut our card bases, and we're going to use some colors besides white. I just showed white in the samples, but we are going to use some other colors as well. So we will start with this Seaside Spray. And Kelsey, do you want to score that? She insisted that she wanted to be my cutter and scorer. So we'll score down the center at 4 1/4. Now at 5 1/2, we are going to cut. No, that's the score. Cut this one, babe. That one. Okay, so that we're going to make 2 of those Seaside Spray cards. Now we will make 4 of the Highland Heather ones. So I scored at 4 1/4 again. Flip this over to 5 1/2. Kelsey, you can cut that one. This is a really handy way to prep 2 card bases at one time. So there's 2 of our Highland Heather ones. Now let's do another piece of cardstock with the Highland Heather. Okay, cut that one. And for the card that had the Misty Moonlight, the darker blue, we are going to keep that one white and do it white. So get a couple of bases ready here. You want to cut that one?
Yeah.
And we'll do 1 more of these, so we'll have 4 of these cards as well. Now we need to do a little bit more cutting. We are going to prepare some card fronts and pieces for the insides of your cards. For these ones that are not going to be white, we need to prep those white pieces that will go on the front this time. So I am going to flip out this arm and show you exactly how I prepare my card fronts and bases. So I cut them first. I cut 1/2 inch off of each side, and I do have 2 pieces of cardstock laying on top of each other here. You can do 2 at once. You might even be able to do 3, but we're going to keep it at 2. So I cut that at 10 1/2. So once again, I just cut 1/2 inch off. Now this way, we are going to cut at 5 1/4. Make sure I'm looking at the right number here. 5 1/4. This way, I want to cut at 4. You want to do that, sweetie?
Yeah.
She's inching her way in here. I can tell she wants to help. Put your hand on top. Gotta hold it all down. Did we get through? And she didn't quite get through. Okay, we got those cut. Now we'll do that one more time. At the 4. Go ahead. Just down a little. So with those 2 sheets of cardstock, that gave us 8 of those. We are going to do that one more time so that we have a few more. So cut this at the 8 inch mark so that we cut a 1/2 inch off. Cut this one at 10 1/2. and cut this down to 5 1/4. You can layer these up, cut them both at the same time, and cut at the 4-inch mark. Now we need a couple of pieces that have different measurements from those. So we need 4 pieces that measure 3 1/2 inches square on each side. So if I need 4 that measure 3 1/2 inches, what I'm going to do is make a big 7-inch square. Seven inches on that side, 7 inches on this side. Now I'm going to cut down the center at 3 1/2. Layer these up. Cut down the center at 3 1/2. Now we also need a couple of pieces that are going to measure 1 inch by 3 1/2 inches. So I'll do this. When I cut slim measurements, I like to line that up over here on this side. So that just gave me a 1-inch strip, because I want them 3 1/2 long. I'm going to do the 7. Then I'm going to cut it in half at that 3 1/2. I'm kind of a math person. I know not everybody works this way, but this is how I usually do my cuts, to be able to make them as quick and easy as possible with as few cuts as possible. Okay, now if I've got my head in the right place, that should be all of the pieces that we need. So we'll get this out of the way. Now let's get our card bases scored and ready. So I'm curious how many of you out there have already started thinking about Christmas cards. I'm sure a lot of you have not. I'll be honest, there are times where it gets to be like December 10th and I'm scrambling because I don't have mine ready. And I realize, like, oh my gosh, I need to make up 100 more cards right now. Usually it's not 100 more, but sometimes it's more in the 60 to 80 range. So with these 10 that we're making right now, I'm going to have a good start on mine. And you will start seeing a lot more samples soon. Like I said, our holiday catalog, for those of you who are regular customers of mine, you will be receiving yours in the mail here towards the end of July. I cannot wait until you receive them, because there are tons of amazing products in this catalog. Curious to see what you think about it. But with that new catalog coming, you will start seeing some more Christmas projects here soon. But I thought I'd start today with our sneak peeks and just show you some real basic ones that you can make with this really pretty Snowflake Wishes stamp set. So let's start. We are making this card, but a little bit upgraded version of it. So we need so we're going to use the Seaside Spray card front. We need 2 pieces for the front, 2 pieces for the inside. If you want to keep them really simple, you can make them just like this, all on that white card base. So here is some Seaside Spray ink. We're going to turn these this way and do the snowflakes on these white pieces. So I'll grab some of these snowflake stamps. I already have them mounted onto the blocks. So I'm going to do this a little bit above center to leave space for the greeting there at the bottom. So we'll put one there, one there. Now we need one of those that's a little bit smaller. And if you can see that I got that faded look, how I did that, I stamped off on my scrap paper and then I stamped onto the card. So you get a little bit of a faded effect. So ink it, stamp off, stamp right here. And there we go. Now we will stamp the greetings onto these strips right here. I have the Snowflake Wishes for a Merry Christmas stamp. I'll ink up, put that right here. And for the inside, I grabbed the same greeting for the insides of all of these cards, and I better turn them this way before I stamp the wrong direction. This is actually from a different stamp set. This is from the Snowman Season stamp set. It says, hoping the season builds heartwarming memories. There are quite a few greetings in this Snowflake Wishes stamp set, so you could use one of them. I just decided to grab some of these others. So we'll set these aside and assemble them after we do the rest of our stamping. Now we'll prep the pieces for this card, and again, I'm going to use the Highland Heather for the back. Just wanted to show you what it looks like when you step it up just a little bit from the all-white cardstock. And we are making 4 of these. So I'll grab 4 pieces here. Just lay out 2 at one time, I think. So what I did with this one, I stamped some of these snowflakes large at the top with the Highland Heather ink. And then as I moved down, I did some of that stamping off. So we'll do a big one up here. I did, let's see, we'll do another big one here. I think I did a stamped off one over here. And then we'll bring in some of those other stamps. So do the same thing on this one. I am planning at some point to do a video on some tips to really save you time on your Christmas cards this year. So I am looking forward to sharing that with you. And let me know when as the holidays approach. I know a lot of you will start making cards who may not always do so. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in certain topics or certain types of cards, let me know. When I know the kinds of things you're interested in seeing and learning, then I can better prepare my videos and all the things that I share to help you. Stamp this one off, put it down here. I really like this stamp right here with this whole, it's like a whole flurry of snowflakes. It's a really pretty one. So we'll stamp that again there, and I'm going to do one more down at the bottom. Stamp off, stamp there, one more. I really like these snowflakes because there is no right or wrong to this. They're just so kind of carefree, and you can use them in so many different ways. Okay, and now let's add in this little guy. We'll put there, and another real light one. I think I want one more a little bit darker right there. Now we'll finish these up. You watch my videos, you know that stamping off is something I do all the time. It's a really good way to get more use out of your ink pads because it looks like you have a few different colors here, but really you are just doing one color. Now we need to stamp those greetings. It says, "May your season sparkle." And I stamped these just on some of that extra white cardstock. And then we will trim those out by hand. You could definitely keep these on just a little rectangle of white cardstock if you want, but I thought it was nice to trim them out like that. So we have those stamped, and the last thing we need is some pieces for the inside. So we need 4 of these. And like I said, I'm going to keep the same greeting as we did on the other card. Hoping this season builds heartwarming memories. And if you want the complete look on the inside, you can add a few snowflakes as well. I'll just add 1 up here in the corner. There we go. Now we are down to preparing the materials for that third card that is going to be all white. I love how this one turned out with the misty moonlight. So here are the card bases. Here are those pieces we want to stamp for the front. So this time I am using Misty Moonlight cardstock. I mean ink. Misty Moonlight ink. So when I inked that up, I could see through to tell that it had not inked properly, so I inked it again. That's one of the nice things about these photopolymer stamps, is you can see through them. And now we will just add some more snowflakes as we see fit. There are so many snowflakes on this set. I'm not even using all of them. There were a few more that I did not even put on blocks. Little helper, are you going to want a job here in a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah. She got bored. She walked away. You can help me put all these together here in a minute.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. So we'll add a few more. Then we will be ready to put these all together. Use this nice flurry one again. This one's kind of a nice space filler. So these will all turn out different, like all snowflakes are different. Bring this little one in just to fill in some space here at the end.
Pretty little.
You do have to be careful on this white cardstock. You want to let your ink dry for a few seconds before you touch it. I got a little smudge there because I was not being very careful.
And on the other one, well, the purple one.
Yep, we got a smudge on one of our originals too. Now we need to stamp this greeting right onto the card base. This one I really like. It says, "In the coldest moments of the year, my heart is warm because you're near." And you want to keep this pretty close to the bottom, because if not, you're going to run out of space to put that piece of white above it. And just for fun, let's use this one that you used on the last card. We'll put this on the inside of this one. "May your season sparkle."
You could stamp off on one of them.
I could. I usually try to keep the greetings nice and dark so that they're easy to see. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can stamp off on any other stamps.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, well, we will go ahead and start assembling. I have a feeling we're not going to make our 10-minute mark, but we will be close. If you keep all of these with the basic white, like on the samples I showed, it will save you a little bit of time. But like I said, I wanted to step it up just a touch to show you what you can do. All right, girly, do you want to put dimensionals on the backs of those?
Yes.
Yes, here's some.
Okay.
So we will put some of our little foam dimensionals on these. These are one of my favorite things to use on the simple cards that I share. If you follow along with my simple cards and the ones that are great for beginners, because they just add a little something extra without much effort. So hold this up, I'll see if you can see that. So you get that dimension with that piece popping up. So there we go, there is our first one finished. Now we'll finish up the other 3 of these Misty Moonlight ones. My little helper comes in pretty handy when it comes to assembling cards. And that is actually going to be one of my tips for you if you're making Christmas cards this year, is to find a friend to do it with you. Either somebody who is in your house, like a child, or a spouse who can help you with a few things. Or, you know, make it a fun little event and have your mom or your sister, daughter, friend, somebody. You could get together and spend a day and work on cards together. All right, so there are those 4. Now let's make our Snowflake Wishes ones. You want to put adhesive on the back of that for me?
No.
And on the backs of those for me. So I'm going to use my seal adhesive here. I go back and forth between my seal and my seal plus. If you have questions about those, if you're wondering why I use the different ones or anything, let me know.
The one with the light color on it is kind of horrible.
What? Horrible? That was harsh. We're using it right now.
I know.
I've decided I like it. We just had to work out some kinks. You don't like it? Why don't you like it?
Because the other one's better.
Well, just, okay. So the other one is the other one's easier to use in general, right?
Yes.
But I have decided I do really like the seal. It's different than what I was used to working with the snail, but I do really like it. I realized I was pushing too hard on the thing, and when I was pushing too hard, that was causing problems. So if you use a real light touch with it, it works pretty well.
You have to rewind it.
That is too... I have to rewind it?
Well, you have to put it back. Oh.
You just never know what's going to come out of the mouths of the small people around. Okay, so we got that one done, and Kelsey started this one for me. I'll finish it. Okay, so we have 2 of those done. Very pretty. And now my favorite color. Let's do these Highland Heather ones.
Purple.
So, do you want to start putting adhesive on the backs, and I will cut these out?
Do you have any of the other snails?
So I'm going to trim this out. Here, use this one.
Okay.
It's working fine. So I'm just going to trim these out with my snips. I love my snips. If you don't have a really nice pair of paper crafting scissors, I really suggest that you get some. And if you have small people who live in your house or anyone who may attempt to steal your scissors, lock them up and threaten them with their lives that if they touch your scissors, they are going to be in trouble. All right, girl, just leave it there and put some more on. Some days this is like a 3-ring circus with me and my small person making cards, but I hope you understand.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit different if school ever starts back up, right?
I want to go to first grade.
Oh, it finally officially came out of her mouth that she wants to go back to school. I knew you did. You just haven't been admitting it. You're excited about first grade, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be. I'm sure you're going to have an amazing teacher. And you get to do
like Miss Carpenter.
Yeah. Mrs. Carpenter. We'll have to get her on here so she can see and hear that. You missed out on the end of your year with Mrs. Carpenter, didn't you?
Yeah.
She was wonderful. Okay. So let's see what we have here. I've got an inside. So let's say you send out 20 Christmas cards that you make yourself. You could make up some of these in no time at all. You could have these done in less than an hour. I'm sure far less than an hour probably. Let's say you send 50 cards. You can make up some cards like these and have those done in a couple of hours. Or if you send like 100 cards or more like I do, you could even have those done in probably an afternoon. So don't be overwhelmed by the idea of sending some handmade cards at Christmas if that's something you haven't done before, because if you choose fairly simple card designs, it really doesn't have to take too much time. And it amazes me, people really appreciate their handmade cards. This is why I do this. I got a card in the mail from somebody yesterday on my team, and it made my day. I was so excited when I saw the size of that envelope. I knew it was going to be handmade, and I was really excited to open it up and see the beautiful card that she had spent some time on. And I love when people tell me that they leave my Christmas cards up on display year-round. I've had several people tell me that. And I just love that. That's really neat to me. That it means enough to them that they leave it up in their house all year. So we are almost done here. Get some dimensionals on the backs of these and finish them up. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you like the simple cards, if you like to see some of these cards that you can make quite a few in just a few minutes, let me know. Helps me know whether you like this or whether I am not using your time wisely. Something else I like to do on simple cards a lot of times is add some real basic embellishments. So you could add some rhinestones or some pearls to these. Both of those would go perfectly with the snowflakes, and you could just add a little fun extra touch that wouldn't take very long. So there's our Highland Heather cards. Here are our Seaside Spray cards. I'll bring this stamp set back in so you can see everything that comes with that. And here we have our Misty Moonlight cards. So thanks for joining in. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helps give you an idea of how you can make some Christmas cards quickly and easily. and I hope to see you again next time. Have a great day.